Say hello, Ella.
Hello, Ella.
Welcome, everybody. Good to see you all. I'm Justin Garcia. This is
Zen Garcia.
And that is Eliana Garcia and her awesome mom.
Joy Garcia.
She just wants those.
Yeah.
So this is our weekly summary, and also it's a 7-month update with Eliana. So she is now 7 months old. I can't believe
Amazing.
it's been 7 months already. Let's not eat that.
Yeah.
But do want to welcome everybody. If you are joining in for the live stream, definitely feel free to add some comments. I have my phone so I can monitor the chat without having to mess with the camera and everything. But it was a pretty interesting week. Had some awesome studies, some new and exciting things going on with the ministry and with the George family starting up their own channel and continuing the Biblical Hebrew class over there.
She wants daddy.
You want to come hang out?
You
You want to come hang out with your daddy? Your grandpa can monitor the chat. Marilyn Jacob Simmons says, hello, good to see you. Much love to you as well. Come here, baby. So she is sitting up on her own now. She is chatting. She's making all kinds of sounds, and she's even starting to stand up. Look at her.
She's eating the controller.
Oh, she will put anything in her mouth,
yes.
as most of you are probably aware of. But such an awesome, awesome baby. And she just giggles so much and smiles so much.
She chirps like a little bird.
She's making sounds and she says, mom, 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 mom. Marilyn said, big girl. Yeah, she's getting so big. It's like actually, Joy and I talked about it, and it's like the creator created our children like so small, right? At birth. And then
Ella.
if she just immediately was like 25 pounds, then there's no way we could carry her. But our strength as parents grows in proportion with the size of our children. Because if she was this big right when she was born, I don't think we could have like cared for her and like picked her up and like held her for as long as we do now, because we just weren't physically fit enough.
Joy, do you want to show your guns?
Tammy said shalom, good to see you. Tammy. Soul Hunter said good evening from the UK. What's going on, Soul Hunter? Hopefully you're having a good morning over there. Is it, I guess it's like really early in the morning or
It's
really late at night?
74 degrees here in Georgia.
It is actually
outside.
So hot. You can see the weather right now. It is so hot out here.
Crazy.
Sean M, what's going on? The two beauties said hi Zen and all the Garcias. Eliana is so cute. Thank you so much. She is our little precious princess. So yeah, this is our weekly summary, but we'll also take some questions if you guys have any questions. We would love to hang out with you guys and talk with you a little bit before we get straight into the summary. Soul Hunter said, oh, it's 10:55 over there. Wait, 8:55. It's 20:55. 8:55 over there. Okay, so y'all are not too far ahead. Only what, 6 hours? Not even 4 hours ahead in London. I thought it was much more than that. Well, we're behind them.
Yeah, we're behind them. Yeah.
So Godsman said shalom from just below you in Florida. Very nice. Would love to live in Florida as well. I wonder what the weather is like in Florida. Let us know.
It's probably 80.
It's probably like 80s, 90s. But, Marilyn Jacob Simmons said the pigtails are the cutest. Thank you. Tori said shalom all. Good to see you, Tori. And good to see everyone. So if you do have any questions as we go through the weekly summary, please feel free to ask them. I'm going to monitor the chat as well as I can.
You're putting it in your eye.
Oh. There you go. Do you want this?
Eliana.
You want your toothbrush?
No, she wants the lights. She wants the lights.
Oh, what happened to the knob? Did she take that
took
again?
it.
Oh, you took it off. That's good. Here you go. You want this?
I'll hold baby while you.
Okay.
Here's
your toothbrush. Tammy said, I'm jealous. Not sure how warm it is here today. 20.5 on the Isle of Wight. Not sure. 20.5, is that Fahrenheit or Celsius? Also, I wouldn't know. Oh, 57. 57. That's pretty nice.
That's usually what it is
Yeah.
here.
That's a nice
Isn't
temperature.
it?
Godsman said a nice 77 in Florida.
Wow.
That is so
that's awesome.
hot.
Yeah.
I'm dressing in this long sleeve and like pants, and I'm definitely regretting it. It's like so hot. And
Yeah.
yesterday we went and hung out with the family, and one of the twin girls got a soccer ball, so we went out. We were kicking the soccer ball around. And I was wearing pants and a long sleeve shirt again, and I was just like, is it summertime? I'm not sure. I was so hot, so hot.
It always starts out super cold in the morning, so we're always getting dressed for that. And then it just gets so hot, so.
Right. Yeah, I guess it's just the sun is really hot. We were talking about it earlier. I don't know if it's geoengineering and they're like trying to, create more of a food crisis. I have no idea what's going on, but this is the warmest it's ever been in late December that I can remember here in Georgia. It is tropical weather, so I guess sometimes I don't believe in climate change. I believe that climate has constantly been changing throughout time. We go through all these cycles and everything is always changing, so maybe this is just a natural warm winter. I don't know what to say about it, but it's pretty crazy. But hopefully all the crops and everything, I know there are so many trees and agriculture is huge here in Georgia. Hopefully all the trees don't die. If they think that it's springtime and then they start blooming and then it gets cold, they could die. But
there is frost coming in a week, so.
Yeah, so it would be terrible if they all just started putting out their sprouts right now and then the frost came and killed it all off. Let's pray against that. Let's pray for all of everything to be good. All the Most High said that truly that there would be seed time and harvest without fail, and I believe that is the truth. So
Is it good?
not to say that many people haven't lost their crops, but
Yummy.
Lori said 35 degrees and lightly snowing in Washington State. That seems like
No, you eat it.
a very kind weather
can have
for Washington. 35 degrees is pretty good.
Thank
And you got some snow, that's nice.
Thank you, though.
So Soul Hunter said, raining here, foggy and cold in the UK. Government now planning to bring military to people's houses to get the poison. So things are getting very interesting. That's unfortunate. Unfortunate that they don't pay attention to any science. It's literally all about control, right?
Yeah,
It's all
selective
about
science.
I mean, it doesn't prevent you from transmitting, so
Right.
it literally makes no sense.
They make up their own science
Yeah,
to support their own agenda.
right. Godsman 144,000 said, off topic for a second here, but in one of your recent broadcasts, I heard Zen ask for legal help in regards to Rob Skiba. What exactly happened with that situation? The hospital put him on a ventilator?
Yes, after them telling them not to do so, and they didn't feed him. They didn't get him any nourishment,
Yeah.
and so you can't sustain life that way. And
I
so-
think it was like last resort that they went there,
Right.
and that's protocol. He was probably out of breath, and that was what they had to do, was to put him on the ventilator. But eventually he got over the thing, and then ended up, instead of the thing, he was being kept on the ventilator for whatever reason. And then they were giving him some type of remdesivir or something like that, and it induced a heart attack is what I believe happened. Not really sure. It's really unfortunate, but yeah, that was a radio show from before when Rob passed. So yeah. All right, so we should just get into it. On Wednesday night, do you remember what show you did? Anybody else remember? What did we do on Wednesday night?
I think you ended up doing a show yourself, Sen.
By
And the
yourself?
first half was like Bitcoin, and second half
Is
was
that what
about
it was?
Grace Church, or was that a different week?
Oh, no, we had Kim Baker on.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
so
oh,
that
yeah,
would be
yeah,
last
that's
week.
right.
Great
yeah,
show,
that was
really
a
great
really
sister.
interesting
Yeah.
really interesting show, and she talked about, getting out of the matrix and uh, tying yourself to a national sovereignty movement where you can, taxes are illegal and that's a voluntary thing to pay them. But all of that, I'm no expert on any of that. If you want to learn more, do go listen to the show. She also provides many links and websites where you can go and get greater information. We will be doing a follow-up on that at some point. But yeah, very interesting show.
Yeah, it's an interesting premise that you can be in our country but not be a citizen legally.
Right. And remove yourself from the whole maritime law.
Yeah, it's all interesting to me. I've never really heard of all that before, but she seems like she's been doing it for a while and has a lot of the legality squared away. So that's interesting to hear that testimony. Yeah. And I know that many of you are interested
and that it's
in
lawful
that as well. So,
which is interesting to me.
Jack Reyes says, I got some questions in. What's your email? Because questions to send you.
ZenGarcia2010@gmail.com.
But the best way to ask a question, though, is...
Your email is going to get probably lost.
Right.
No offense to anyone who sends emails. We just get so many emails. I would not say that there's a 100% guarantee that he's going to respond. The best way to get your question answered is to join for the live Ask Me Anything shows and then get your question on the list there, because we do methodically go question by question to get all those questions asked. The emailed in questions are hit or miss. Sometimes if he happens to see it and happens to have time, and
if I don't have 1,000 before.
Right, which is never going to be the case, because there are always, maybe not 1,000, but dozens.
A lot, yeah.
And if you're curious when the next show is with Zen, you can go to swpcalendar.com and check the show schedule, and it'll show exactly when he'll be on. And please definitely try to join sooner than later, because we do get a lot of questions in, and the faster you get your question into the chat, it's first come, first serve.
Yep.
The better it is.
Yep, definitely. Come hang out for those, and swpcalendar.com. That's a great place to see all the shows that are coming up throughout the weeks. And so moving on to Thursday, we had a continuation of my dad and my study through Revelation. And that was an awesome show. I always enjoy reading through Revelation. And then my dad read a lot of the Revelation of St. John the Theologian. That was really interesting. We went through Revelation chapter 6, which is the unlocking of the seals. So the first 5 seals, and then the 6th seal. And I guess the 7th is going to come probably 1 or 2 studies later. But we brought forth stuff from Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Zechariah, all kinds of really interesting prophecies that talk about the end times that we're living in. So, I don't know, my conclusion was that it seems like the seals have been unlocking, like these judgments have been unlocked from the time that the Messiah was crucified. We've seen these, first off, you had the peace come. The peace come and conquer. Then you had the war come. And then you have famine,
pestilence.
Right? And then hyperinflation and things like that.
Right.
So I'm not sure if the seals will eventually lead to like a united world system of peace, like the entire world will be united through peace. But I know that even in the very end, there are different beasts. There are different parts of these beasts that are made up of Babylon, that are made up of the 10 horns, which I believe is a united Islamic confederacy that wants to destroy Israel. And then you also have the dragon, which could potentially be China and all of these states over here, like communist states. I know they're all part of one system, right? But there's still 3 unclean spirits like frogs that come out of the mouth of the false prophet, out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the dragon. So you see there's a beast, which is ridden by Mystery Babylon, and then you also see the dragon. So there are like 2 different beast systems. So I can't say that the unlocking of the first seal would be complete world peace, right? Or that the second seal being unlocked as complete world war, but it definitely is something that we covered really thoroughly and brought a lot of considerations in. So anything you wanted to cover from that show?
Just that if you're interested in prophecy and the end times, those series of shows, we've done 4 or 5 now, I do recommend checking those out. And also the Great Commission 3, I can't stress enough about how I believe this manuscript can bless you in your study of the end time narratives. We're almost done, Eliana.
I love you. So that's Eliana's 7-month update.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all go ahead.
Bye, everybody.
Say bye.
Say bye, princess.
Bye.
It's probably getting hot out in the
Yeah.
sun. It's crazy. Crazy that it's so hot out here. But thank you everybody for your kindness. Karen Holland said, I'm forever grateful to Zen. I've learned so much. And Sean M said, it was interesting. We appreciate it. Whisper TV said, Zen Garcia, you sir are a legend. Peter Birdsall said, 3 generations of Zen. Awesome. Yeah, it's really amazing to see the generations continuing and just seeing children grow up and imagining that one day I could be a grandpa is like just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Totally crazy. And then he'll be a great grandpa, right?
Right.
Crazy. So thank you, Whispers TV said, that may be the cutest baby I've ever seen. That's very nice of you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I definitely agree. She is so cute. Godsman 144K said, Zen, what are your thoughts on the Mark of the Beast being enforced Sunday legislation? From my study, I've personally found that this interpretation is correct.
I personally think that the mark is going to have to do with the progression of what is the snake bite. But I definitely do believe that the New World Order will have its own set of laws and precepts that it wants people to follow, and that they have been changing everything in order to lead people astray from the true faith. And I do think that Sabbath and the calendar is part of that process, cosmology as well. And so everything's been turned upside down. We see now the whole push, the Alice Bailey, the 10-point plan, the destroy the Christian family and ethics and turn everything upside down, and how they want to basically normalize abomination in all kind of weirdness, with homosexuality, bestiality, pedophilia, all of that stuff. And so everything will be turned upside down, and we see that we are in a process where that is happening.
Yeah.
And legislation is coming out to support all that.
In my opinion, I don't think people would be damned for, keeping their Sabbath on the Sunday.
You do the best you can.
Yeah, that's my opinion. I don't think that, everyone who receives the Mark of the Beast is going to be damned, right? I definitely believe there are many, many, many Sunday-going Christians that are saved. That's my testimony. Is in Revelation 7, you see a multitude that no man can count. That no one can count, a giant multitude of people who have come out and who have washed their robes white in the blood of the Messiah. And so the Mark of the Beast, whatever it is, I've seen that the World's Last Chance, right, that teaches that the Sunday Mark of the Beast, the Sunday Sabbath is the Mark of the Beast. I don't agree with that. I definitely think that it has something to do with technology, that we see the technology unfolding in our lives, and you see the governments now are coming out and saying that they want to create a cryptocurrency that is controlled by the central banks, and of course if they do that, they say they're going to have complete control over everything regarding that, and you can see that we've known that digital currency is definitely going to have something to do with the Mark of the Beast, but it's not like Bitcoin or Ethereum or any little crypto. These are all just like little companies that are working on the infrastructure that potentially the Mark of the Beast will come out on. So if the central banks get involved and there's a united world currency that's, you know, created through technology that everyone is required to have to buy or sell, then definitely I would say that's the mark of the beast. But I think my phone died, so I can't read the chat anymore. But thank you all so much for hanging out. So the last show that we had was last night. We had the Digital Readers Club meeting, and we actually moved the Digital Readers Club to 8 p.m. Eastern Time instead of 7 p.m. Eastern Time. If you missed it, the reason we changed it was because Eliana's bedtime is at 7 p.m. So every Saturday I was having to miss out on putting her to bed. You know, at 7 p.m. that's when Joy and I will take her upstairs, we'll wash her face, give her a bath if it's bath night, and then change her into her like little sleep onesie, and then we'll make sure she's well fed, make sure she has a fresh diaper, rock her on the rocker, and then she like lays on my chest, and then I tell her a Bible story. Like, we've been through the entire Bible actually multiple times now.
Awesome.
It's really fun, but she falls asleep on my chest, you know, and that's like part of our routine. So every Saturday Joy was doing that by herself. Not saying that was a bad thing. She enjoyed it, and that's great. But babies have a routine that they get used to, and I didn't want to continue breaking that routine. And also, maybe I'm a little, I don't know, jealous and wanted to hold her myself, and
Right.
for her to continue to fall asleep in my chest. So yeah, so we moved the Digital Readers Club to 8 p.m. and it was a really interesting study. Again, we saw how King David, the son of Solomon, who was Menelik, right? Menelik.
Yes.
He was renamed David by Solomon and then sent away with the firstborn of all of the higher-ups in Israel, in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
And they all were sent back to Ethiopia, where they brought the Ark of the Covenant with them, and then they were establishing the temple and preparing everyone's heart they were basically circumcising everyone's heart by reading them the law, by telling them the commands, the judgment of the Creator, and that they had to keep the commands. And then it's said that those who do certain things are accursed, you know, and when we read in the Torah, it says those who do this will, you know, be cut off from their people. So I think it's the same thing. I don't know if they were saying that they would be executed or that they would be exiled or what it was, but basically it lined up with Leviticus.
The same law.
Yeah, so I think it was really interesting, and I really like reading the extra biblical variations in the 10 Commandments, because, you know, originally it was 10 words, you know, like the 10 words, and in the canon that we have, it's the 10 words that are given a little bit of commentary after them. And sometimes when you get to that second command, it's like, don't make any idols, right? And you think, okay, don't make any idols. But like, how far do you take this? Do you not have Beanie Babies, or do you not have paintings on your wall, or do you not like have pictures on your Facebook or something like that? But when you read in the Targum, and then when you read in what we read from the Kever Nagast last night, it tells you don't make the idols to bow down to them.
Right.
And that's a very important point that isn't like super clear when you just read Exodus chapter 20 in the King James Version. You know, so I like reading and getting the clarity sometimes, and of course we're not saying it's 100% accurate at all. We're just saying gather as many resources as you can, cross-reference them to confirm or deny one another, and of course, you know, the canon is the I guess the foundation that you compare everything to.
Yes.
So other than that, anything you wanted to bring forward from the reading last night?
I just I love reading all the extra biblical texts, and just recently we did a show on the New Testament Apocrypha, and I've been reading those over the past year or 2 years now, and there's so much mind-blowing information, and I just wish that everybody had it for consideration. And so that's why, you know, we do what we do to try to share as much of what is hidden with you so that you can have it to read it, to study it, and to consider it. And so that's part of the work of this ministry. And we thank all of you for joining us in that.
Yeah, definitely it's a partnership, right? That's why it's the Digital Readers Club. It's not like the Garcia study hour. It's like all of us are joined together, all of us read together, all of us participate in discussing different things together, bringing up certain points or bringing up contentious topics that might have arisen in the reading. And we love all of that. We love all the discussions. So if you would like to join us for the Digital Readers Club, please do come hang out with us on our Discord server every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time now. We join for the Digital Readers Club. We're going through the Covenant of Gost right now. I think we still have quite a little whiles to go, but we're almost at that famous chapter 100. I'm excited to finally get there.
Yes,
my dad has probably done 24 shows talking about this.
Absolutely.
So we'll finally get there and be able to read it all for ourselves in the context of the entire book, the Covenant of Gost. So it's been a really interesting and awesome read. So moving on, after our study from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., right at 9 p.m., we ended the live stream and then sent everybody over to Brother Noble and Sister Lisa and their son Isaac's channel, the Hebrew Hawaiian channel. And they still stayed on our Discord server. That's where the Biblical Hebrew class is taking place. So everyone basically just jumped from Digital Readers Club to Biblical Hebrew class and then swap the live stream over to their channel. So we definitely encourage you, if you haven't already hit the subscribe over at the Hebrew Hawaiian channel, definitely do that. And the class is always fun and interactive, and definitely some awesome family that is growing up over there. So other than that, we're going to go inside, get cooled down. It's definitely, I can't believe how warm the sun is keeping us. And next week, I'll try to make sure my phone is more charged so I can monitor the chat more. I know many of you probably had some more great questions, and we definitely want to be able to answer more in the future. But as for this show, I guess last update from the Endeavor Freedom Orphanage in Myanmar, we're now building the girls' dormitory. So if you haven't followed along the journey over there at the Endeavor Freedom Orphanage, go to facebook.com/EndeavorFreedomINC and you can follow along that journey. Our brother Nalgong over there, he posts so many photos, so many videos all the time. There's also updates from the Uganda orphanage and the Kenyan orphanage that we support over there. But if you didn't know, 10% of all proceeds from Sacred Word Publishing go to support the orphanages. And this month is the mission month, as we deemed it, and 20% of all proceeds will be going to the orphanages. So definitely all of your book purchases go a long way. 10% of all the proceeds that we get are going towards helping these orphanages. And you can go to facebook.com/EndeavorFreedomINC. I don't think you need a Facebook account. You can just visit and see the pictures and see the updates of what's going on over there. It's always a pleasure to be able to see the real impact that you're making in the world. The real impact, the real religion, as James put it, is caring for the orphans and the widows and keeping yourself unspotted from the world. So taking care of the orphans is one of the greatest things that we can do as lovers of this world. And definitely I know that many of you probably feel the same way. The orphans need to know that they are loved. It's so important in this generation that we can just forget that there's any love, that we have any love, that we are loved, that God loves us. So they're being raised in Christian-minded orphanages and being raised up with the bread of life and taught the gospel and taught the Psalms and taught all of the scriptures, raised in church, raised around worship, raised praying over every meal together as a family. I think that their community is more blessed than we could imagine.
Yeah.
Just because they have that family unit and they're there, joined in faith. They're living like the real communes of early church, right? And that's thanks to all of your love, all of your support. We really appreciate you. If you do want to make a direct donation to the orphanages, you can go to EndeavorFreedom.net and go to the How You Can Help tab. And you can donate via PayPal, or you can mail us a check, and 100% of those donations, minus the PayPal fees or the bank fees, goes to the orphanage. We don't take any administrative costs or anything like that. So with that said, we really love you so much. Thank you so much for hanging out and being part of this awesome community. You know, you are the reason we're here. We love you so much. Shalom.
Shalom.